Welcome everyone to Maintenance University, our very first discussion we are having today. Excited to have it. We were talking about what is maintenance. Very often when we tell someone, hey, go do maintenance, what does that even mean? And we dive into it in our discussion today with the maintenance team on what is maintenance and the big picture of maintenance. We touch about Army doctrine and what is mentioned. And again, this whole discussion we're having does not take away from any Army doctrine teaching or any type of schooling. This is just to add to on some of our own experience and professional thoughts that we have on what is maintenance and when maintenance starts. So I hope you enjoy the discussion. Let me know what you think. Hey, good morning, everybody. Glad everyone could join and log in. Today we'll be discussing with the maintenance team. You have everyone represented from the SPO maintenance office. If you guys want to give a quick introduction of yourselves really fast, you want to start with Master Sergeant?
Hey, good morning. My name is Master Sergeant Valentin. I'm over at the SPO Ground Maintenance NCO.
All right, Sergeant Van, introduce yourself.
I'm Sergeant Van. I'm the Marine Maintenance NCO here in the SPO office.
I'm Sergeant Charlie, and I'm just here in the maintenance office.
So everyone, this is our maintenance team, and we're here to provide all the education, knowledge, support, help, anything you need. And our very first discussion in class is what we all hear about and talk about. If you ever been in a formation, or if you ever been in front of a formation, or if you ever getting guidance in a formation to talk about or go instruct maintenance or go do maintenance, you're in the right spot. Today we're going to break down what is maintenance and really how long we've been doing maintenance and how many things we do maintenance on already without even knowing it. It's just once we put that buzzword of Army maintenance, a lot of minds automatically go into, hey, let me go kick tires on this piece of equipment or go kick the tracks. But today we're going to peel back the onion just a little more, and we're going to deep dive into maintenance. So what is maintenance? We'll go with Sergeant Van. What are your thoughts on maintenance?
Wait, hold on. My thoughts on maintenance are the techniques to preserve equipment.
Techniques to preserve equipment. All right. Master Sergeant, what you got?
So to me, what maintenance is being able to maintain your equipment. So just do general checks, basically like I'm lost. That's
So over here at maintenance, a lot of us think of PMCS. You know, hey, Monday morning maintenance, let's go do PMCS. And for those who don't even know what PMCS stands for, that's Preventative Maintenance Checks and Services. When we hear go do maintenance, some of us might even think, hey, let's just go make sure it turns on. Okay, well, all that is part of maintenance, but there's a little bit more to it when we peel it back. And maintenance doesn't start just in the motor pool. Maintenance starts way before that. And if you've been in the Army, I would say at least a week, you have been taught what maintenance is. You just might not know it. We were all taught the Soldier's Creed very early on, even before when we went to MEPS, especially during MEPS. We were taught to learn the Soldier's Creed, and inside the Soldier's Creed, there's a little phrase in there where it talks about, I'll maintain my arms, my equipment, and myself. I'll maintain my arms, my equipment, and myself. So that's when we first hear of that word maintenance, as you call it. That's when we first start thinking about what does that even mean. So when we jump into maintenance, some of the examples that we have for maintenance is, just a few things we do already daily. So we'll start off with starting from the left, our TV maintenance. We do maintenance on our TV. We don't even know it. And some of the things we do maintenance on our TV with, we just make sure it turns on. If it doesn't turn on, then there's a problem and we address the problem. The same thing should go when it's a piece of our equipment. If my vehicle's not turning on, that's a problem. Maybe I should go ahead and tell someone or figure out why it's not turning on. And it can start simple as, is it plugged in? Is my TV plugged in? It could be as simple as, are my batteries turned on? But we'll deep dive more into that technical aspect later on in the future videos. One of the biggest ones right now is, cell phone maintenance. We do cell phone maintenance already. And it's, we don't see it as a hassle to ensure that we have enough battery life in our phone to make sure it works for the day. Same concept when it comes to if I got to roll out my vehicle, ensuring it has enough fuel in the vehicle to roll out. When it comes to your cell phone plan, making sure you got enough data to even be on the internet. Same concept when it comes to our vehicle maintenance in the Army. So we do these things already without willingly know it. It's just a lot of times when we hear Army maintenance, we draw a blank. And here we're going to clear up that blank. Last thing, another thing we talk about is food maintenance. I put that down there just because food maintenance is important. You don't want to have some old turkey laying around in your refrigerator for 10 days and you try to eat it. That's probably not healthy or good for you. So you don't want same concept when it comes to, your vehicle. You don't want to be putting no contaminated fluid inside your vehicle. And then the last one, we're talking about health maintenance. Health maintenance is something we do daily already. If you've been in formation, if you've done physical training, you do it daily. That is considered maintenance. Going out there and doing your bend and reach, your overhead arm pull, your drills, your PT tests, all those things. It's all incorporated with maintenance. You guys got anything to add, take away? I know, Van, you talked about a good one earlier, me and you, before we hit record on the camera. I know we talked about, waking up early in the morning, and you kind of had a great story. I don't know if you want to elaborate a little more on that.
In basic training, maintenance started before we even kicked off with training. So you'd get up and you'd have to maintain your bag. Just yourself, your uniform, shaving, that's all maintenance. That's maintenance on your appearance, that's maintenance on your living quarters. Just maintenance getting out the front door to come to work.
Absolutely. Sergeant Crawley, you got anything about maintenance yourself?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we got you.
Okay, yeah, I feel I agree with Sergeant Van that maintenance is like more than just about fixing a vehicle. Granted, is what we think of in the Army, but it's about maintaining everything in life to keep it in the proper use or condition that you want it to stay in.
Absolutely. All right, so now we're going to dive into what Army considers of maintenance, and we're going to go, what does the Army, we got a question back here. We're going to back this up. Go ahead.
So, we're if we can manage those tasks and keep those tasks under our belt and do those tasks every day, those tasks are going to trickle into everyday life of everything you do. Right, so maintenance does start at just waking up, but if you manage those and overcome those tasks and get a routine of those tasks, it's going to go into the routine at work.
Absolutely, it becomes repetition and easier. It doesn't become daunting when someone says, go do this. You already you're already thinking about it already. So it's almost like forward planning in a sense when you incorporate all the things that we already do. So what does the Army say about maintenance? It'll work, I promise. Maybe. So some of the buzzwords you'll hear is sustained functionality. If you've been around a little bit, or if you've been in any type of maintenance meeting, you'll hear that buzzword sustained functionality, which is true. You also hear reliability. Again, we mentioned this earlier, making sure when I get in the vehicle, I turn the key and it turns on, turnkey ready. Systems in place. We have a great class lined up later on when it talks about systems and processes, but what systems do we have in place to maintain maintenance? And that could be, we could change that word from system to routines. What routines do we have? Like when we're walking out the front door, what is my routine? I make sure I got my keys, my phone, my wallet. All right, I'm good to go. That's all ties together when it comes to maintaining a piece of equipment. But the Army sees maintenance as, in the context of the United States Army, maintenance refers to the systematic process of preserving, preparing, and ensuring the operational readiness of military equipment and systems. It encompasses a wide range of activities that aim at sustaining functionality and reliability of equipment throughout its life cycle. In simple words, I summed it up: taking care of military equipment to keep it in working properly. This includes fixing, cleaning, and checking equipment to make sure it is ready to use whenever needed. It helps keep everything reliable and in good condition for as long as possible. One of the buzzwords I also like to see, or one of the things we don't think about that's important, is this word cleaning. Massart, why do you think cleaning is important when it comes to maintenance? How would that tie into maintenance operations? All right, he's having some technical difficulties over there.
Would you ask something?
When it comes to cleaning, how is, from his perspective and his experience, why is cleaning so important when it comes to maintenance?
He's currently occupied, so cleaning is so important for maintenance is because the tidier your work area, the tidier the vehicle is, the more you could see what's going on.
Absolutely. And that way, when you go to use it, for example, your work area, you know, the safety of having something tidy and clean, your weapon, when it comes to your weapon, making sure that your weapon is clean. So when you go fire upon the enemy, you know, you're not going to have a jam, and you got to perform, you know, a stop acronym to ensure, you know, get rid of that jam. So all these things are important when it comes to maintenance. So when we release our formation or we give guidance to go do maintenance, these are areas we should be looking at, not just ensuring that the tire is still on the vehicle. So we're going to wrap up. We talked about today, you know, what is maintenance and how it works. Again, maintenance is the process of preserving, keeping something in good condition. Just like we mentioned earlier, yourself, maintaining your arms, your equipment, and yourself, making sure that you're well. So that should also incorporate to your piece of equipment that you're assigned to, making sure it works. Ensure longevity, functionality, making sure that the piece of equipment I am assigned to or the piece of equipment that I'm overseeing, make sure that it is going to be able to be used for the longevity of its life. And we define maintenance as an act of keeping equipment, systems, or facilities in working order. It is our responsibility to ensure that the piece of equipment that we're assigned to, that is in good working order. We're going to go over real fast. We're going to deep dive just a little more for a few minutes, just for some Army references where we got all this information, where we talked about this morning. So AR 750-1 talks about the big picture of regulation of Army maintenance. You know, what does the Army say about maintenance? If you want to dig into the details of the black and white, these are all the references that we use today to kind of put this quick discussion together on the importance of maintenance and what is maintenance. So before we head out for this morning to execute our day, Sergeant Van, Sergeant Crawley, you guys got any closing remarks before we head out of here?
That's it, Maintenance University. Our very first discussion about what is maintenance in the books. Hope you enjoyed it. I hope it was a little more mind-opening than what we thought. You know, I hope the expectation of this discussion wasn't, hey, the Army says maintenance is this, Army says maintenance is that. We have to change our mindset. The maintenance is bigger than what we think. Maintenance is more than what we might expect. There's so many levels when we mention maintenance. There's so many things that are involved with maintenance when we say that word maintenance. And maintenance is just not vehicles. It's also, as we mentioned, you know, yourself and your arms. Hope you enjoyed the class. Stick around for more. Can't wait. Stay with us.